Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Four Guys with Quarters podcast, episode 190. And tonight we are going to be discussing several topics that I think are pretty big right now. FTC has now decided to investigate loot crates, Fallout 76, Red Dead Redemption 2, possible online troubles, Star Wars Battlefront 2, new DLC, Games with Gold, Nintendo's Creators Program, and possibly Obsidian's new game announcement. But before we get into that, I'd like to introduce tonight's amazing guest who hosts amazing podcasts almost every day of the week, and that is Mr. BoomStickXL.
Hey man, listen, thanks clowns. I appreciate it. It's great to be on your show because you've been on Breakfast with Boom numerous times. And when you asked me, I jumped at the chance to be on Four Guys with Cause. I believe this is my second time. Looking forward to tonight's show. The topics are fantastic. The company's even better. So let's go.
Thanks, Boom. And then we have ZPCI Assassin, who's never missed one appearance. We'll count his partial appearance as well. Welcome, Assassin.
Hi.
And with that hi, we're going to get into it, guys. So I want to ask our panelists tonight, what do you guys think about the FTC now deciding to investigate loot crates?
Well, you know what? I mean, here's the thing. Loot crates have been around for, been prominently around since I don't know what, maybe the end of 2016, right? I mean, like where they really, or 2017, where they really got gross, if you will. Again, I mean, them wanting to do an investigation this late in the day to me seems pointless. I am going to say that whatever their findings are going to be, I think that there's going to have to be some sort of a warning label put on games that offer, like this kind of loot crate shenanigans, because I don't think it's any much different than gambling, right? Like, or being addicted to scratch offs, let's just say, right? Like, for instance, half your paycheck goes to scratch offs on a weekly basis because you're looking to hit the big win. People get addicted to those things. It's the same thing with loot crates. And especially in the younger generation. I mean, you look at a lot of these kids, they use all of these V-Bucks and all these other different types of digital currency for games like Fortnite. Fortnite's a perfect example of that. The game is technically free to play, but you have to, you buy a lot of things in that game, and, kids could get addicted not only to the game, but purchasing things from that game. So I think that the investigation at this point is to me anyway, is pointless. I think they just want to throw their hat in the ring, so to speak, to say that they did investigate. Because probably there are some people that are probably calling for an investigation, and I think out of obligation to their job, they're doing it not because they actually care.
That's a very good point, Boom. A while ago when they first started talking about loot crates being investigated years ago, or like a year and a half ago maybe, by other countries, we brought it up back then, and I felt like, that it was going to be pressure from the people to push on the government to do this kind of stuff, and eventually it would fall into FTC. But I'm not so sure if their timing is right now. I mean, like every other country seems to investigate it and made a decision. Like I think the UK doesn't even consider it gambling, and then you got parts of Europe that considers it gambling. So all of a sudden, America's into it now, like a year and a half later, and the games have already, taken away some of the loot crates, and they changed it with other stuff. And I wanted to get Assassin on this, because he has a good opinion on this loot crate fiasco.
Well, see, I am in the position of loot crates aren't gambling. You're spending X amount of dollars to get 3 items. Well, it depends on the loot crate. For Call of Duty purposes, you get 3 items. I mean, yes, you're gambling. I guess there's a little gambling in it where, if you want something, like we had this guy that may join the podcast, Yeti, who spent $400 on something that he wanted and never got it. I mean, in that aspect, it's gambling, but you're still getting things. But then now, like, we'll probably talk to it later on, but you get games like Call of Duty, who just has a pack now. It's $20 for like 2 things, right? 2 things you want, or skin like the Star Wars Battlefront 2 just launched General Grievous Shattered Armor skin, $20. Like, I'd rather have gambling-esque loot crates where you're gonna get something, 3 items, than spending $20 on one thing. I don't know, because like if a Call of Duty crate costs $2, right, and you spend $20 on it, you get a bunch of things. Like, so I don't know. It's just it's sad that it took them this long, but it's sad now since everyone wanted them gone. We get more greed, and that's what I was, trying to bring up like last year when we were talking about this. Companies are getting a bit greedy, and now it's showing. So.
Yeah, Boom, have you noticed that? Have you noticed since loot crates are gone, you're seeing different stuff in the games that you play?
I mean, look, a perfect example is this. You take a game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This is literally my game of the year. I have been playing the game completely nonstop. And if you pull back the curtain, there's a ton of stuff to buy. There is absolutely no doubt about it. I dropped $20 to get the Pegasus DLC because I'm such a Clash of the Titans fan, right? So I bought it out of the love for a particular film, and I wanted that DLC because I have not changed the horse skin since getting it. The armor that came with it, I don't even use it anymore, but I didn't really buy it for that. See, the thing is this: they have a ridiculous amount of ways for you to spend real world money on their items, but unless you're looking for it, it's you can literally play the game and not even know it's there. Right. I mean, you'll when you start the game, there'll be something in the corner. They'll say, "Yeah, listen, a new armor set with like maybe like like a Hellfire horse." You know what I'm saying? Something out of D&D. If you're a D&D fan, you want to ride around on a horse that when it's running, it's causing fire. I mean, I think that's cool. Some people will have no need for it. They're like, "Yeah, just give me a gray horse and I'm good." Okay, fine. But there are other companies that really push this in your face. And, again, I got to bring up Fortnite. Fortnite's, their skin prices are outrageous. Here's another one, PUBG, the Joker and Harley, $45 for 2 skins. And the Joker looks like an abomination. It's like someone just threw some paint on a mannequin and called it a Joker skin. So, I mean, listen, no one is twisting anyone's arm to buy this DLC. I mean, that is an absolute fact. I mean, again, I don't know if I would actually, and I agree with Assassin, where is it really gambling? I mean, you don't know what you're going to get. That's true, but no one is twisting your arm to buy this stuff. This is out of the love for the game. Me personally, I don't like loot crates that I have to buy, not because I'm spending real world money. It's I don't know what I'm getting. I would rather be able to say, yes, I like these pants. I like this jacket. I like that gun. What's the price? $3, $4, $5. Okay, so the whole price for everything is $12 or whatever it is. I'm okay with that because I want those particular items on my particular character for that particular game. And I'm perfectly okay with that. I don't like the loot crate thing. Obviously, I think the worst offender was Star Wars Battlefront. They are still, EA as a company is still paying for that. New DLC is coming in the form of Clone Wars, and because of the stink of what happened, I don't know if anyone's even going to play it.
Yeah, you guys touched on some really good points here. It's like now when you look at these games, you're seeing like skins, the skin packs for like example PUBG, like you mentioned, Boom. And Assassin's brought up some other as well. But when you see these skin packs, they're like $45, $20 here, $20 there. And I feel like when loot crates were around, you may have had less of a chance to get something, but if you spend like $5 and you got it, it felt pretty good compared to throwing out $20 when anybody in the world can just throw out $20 and get those skins now. So it's like, well, is it even that valuable if everybody can get it versus, wow, I could show off if I got on a loot crate because it's rare. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like card collecting, right? Like like for instance, I mean you take baseball cards or you can go Pokemon, right? Let's put the spin on this with the Pokemon cards. You buy a box of cards. That's what I used to do back in the days. I'd buy a box of cards. Like for instance, I'm not even going to, because I didn't play Pokemon. I played Magic the Gathering. I started in just missed Generation 2. Got into it with with Generation 3. So I'd buy a box of cards. It cost me like $68. But you know what? When you pull, when you open up these packs, you're pulling Shivan Dragons, right? You're pulling the Jins, and if you had those in your deck, and you went, to your local comic book store or to like the garage where we used to hang out and play, you felt like you felt like a pimp dropping down that Shivan Dragon, right? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I also would have rather not spent the $68 and had, 471 cards that were complete garbage to the, 30 or 40 good ones I pulled. I would have rather just bought the cards. I don't know. It's kind of like a fine line, clowns.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you there because I used to play Hearthstone a lot. And I used to buy World of Warcraft card packs to get in-game items. Even though I never played the card game, but I'd buy it just to see if I get like, a mount or something. So I kind of liked, when I open up this card packs, if I got something really cool. But I did spend maybe 20, $25 sometimes just looking for one card or two cards. So I think it's like a flip side. There's positives and negatives on both sides of the coin as far as loot crates go. I don't really think it's gambling at this point either because you're still getting something. You just don't know what you're getting.
Right.
And it's the odds that the government is trying to go after saying, hey, we're the government. And if there's odds, then maybe it is gambling. And I just feel like that the FTC is really slow.
They are. Yes.
Like, why do it now when everything's practically everybody's removed loot crates? What are they going to go back and find companies for like 2 years ago? Oh, yeah, Shadow of War, you guys had those loot crates in there with different orcs you could get. Yep, we're going to find you 2 years ago. No, I don't think it works that way. And I think it's just a waste of resources for the FTC to stick their foot in it now. Like, come on, get out the mud. Go find something else to do. Go save net neutrality or something.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that it's really the term "little too late." It's actually almost laughable, the fact that they want to get involved now when, like you said, great point, clowns. No one really has it anymore. I mean, they were in Forza Motorsport 7, even though you couldn't buy them with real world money. Somehow or another, they were ostracized for for having them in there, even though they were just, you used in-game money. The more you played, the more you opened. It was great. Those are gone. I don't know. I'm Star Wars Battlefront. I have not returned to it, so I can't really speak on how they're doing it. But it's a shame that they waited this long. But at the same time, what are they really going to do now?
Yep. My fear of them getting involved now, this is my fear, is that they're going to come in here and now they're going to say, okay, well, we missed the whole loot crate fiasco. So now, why are you charging people for skins? Like, I feel like they're gonna have some type of argument on the whole buying the skins or when you play in-game time and earn rewards, and they're gonna come up with some new reasoning why that needs to be investigated. I just wish they would just drop this at this point because I think the companies have already heard from the mass casual gamers of how upset they were. And I think companies are trying to change. And I don't know. It's just the resources to me, man. I'm probably rumbling on, but I just get so frustrated with this.
No, I mean, I absolutely agree. I mean, it's a great topic, though. And again, I didn't even read this. That makes me happy. I'm even more so on the show because I didn't even know this information. But at this point, yeah, I agree with you. It's a little silly.
And as you were mentioning about the Battlefront fiasco, Assassin actually has dove into the new DLC on Battlefront, and
Okay.
I'd like to get his take on first the skins in Battlefront because it kind of relates to our former topic, and then let him get into the DLC. All right, take it away, Assassin.
Okay, so the skins. General Grievous skin is $20.
Wow.
Thank you, everyone who hates loot crates. Obi-Wan Kenobi's robes. His bathrobe, as some people would probably look at it. $10.
Wow.
If you want all the clone trooper appearances, they added the 212th Attack Battalion, Obi-Wan Kenobi's clone troopers, which has just a little bit of yellow on the head, arms, legs, etc. Is $15 for the set, $5
Holy
each.
cow!
Yeah. The emotes and stuff, they're actually reasonably priced. They're 50 crystals, which is, I think it's like $1 for 100 crystals or something. I don't know. I forget what the conversion is, but that's reasonably priced. So I'm glad that's that. But as for the Clone Wars, the whole DLC, basically what they added was a whole Galactic Assault, which if people haven't played it, is this huge mode, 20v20 mode with objectives. So like the first objective, you have to call reinforcements and get an ATT to work. And then the second phase, after the clones win, second phase you go, ATTs start coming down from the sky from oh my god, I forget the ships, but that's not the point. So you're supposed to take those ATTs, which aren't on rails. Finally, we have a big vehicle that's not on rails to destroy the Techno Union ships, which is just hell of fun to do on both sides. I prefer the droid side because it is so cool watching all these ATTEs, because you get like 4 or 5 on the battlefield at once.
Wow.
And you just have to like throw everything you got at them. It's the comments the droids have, or if you blow one up, they're like, "Hey, I had friends on that ship," or there's some other ones. It's classic droid humor. I love it. And then you get the just like in the Attack of the Clones, where they had the big core ship that goes to the sky, and they had to shoot it down with the artillery beams and things. And if the clones win, you get to see the nice animation of shooting down and smoke going everywhere. It's just a lot of fun. Like you see it in the movies, right? And you're like, oh, that will never happen. And then they bring it to the game. I just love that, And from what I've been hearing from other people, like everyone just loves it. Obi-Wan's great. The mode's great. I think on YouTube, the first like 2 days, the YouTube video of that came out like last week or whatever on what's coming had more views on that than Battlefield 5's launch trailer.
Whoa. That's saying something.
Yeah, so I think EA kind of knows that they have kind of a gold mine here, because everyone wants Clone Wars. We're kind of sick of because Battlefront 1 had this the Galactic Civil War, so everyone's kind of sick of that. You get the New Era stuff, which the Last Jedi kind of just ruined for everyone, and they have this, like I said, this gold mine. They can pretty much just print money if they bring out modes like this. They have a huge mode like the classic Battlefront 1s and 2s from 2004 and 5 that are coming. Like, so if they can lower the skins a little bit, I think it'll be good.
So there's no loot crates, but you can buy what you want.
So there's loot crates, which is in quotes, because for instance, you get a daily loot crate, which is only 500 credits. That's like like other games where you log in, you're like, hey, free money. Gotcha. And then if you buy like some of the milestones, they didn't really when they had to transition everything away from loot crates back in like February, when I think they pushed it out. Some of the milestones still give you loot crates, but it's like specific things. So like, for instance, the heavy trooper, he has a shield that goes on his gun. Like, you'll get a better version of that.
Oh, okay.
So it tells you what you're getting. If you buy with credits for the clone trooper skins, you can it's like a buy two get one that comes in a loot crate, which you get all 3 skins. You know what you're already getting. So there's those loot crates, but they're not loot crates.
Gotcha.
And see, I miss the days when they actually had the loot crates in Battlefront 2. Not because it caused a controversy, but because I used to be able to joke around with Assassin and be like, Sasser, man, I'm gonna get those rare skins. I'm gonna drop the big bucks on those loot crates because he's a huge Star Wars fan. So if I would have got something he couldn't obtain, it would have been like, oh man, look at me play this character.
And that's why he has that stupid petition that Daz puts out every single week for loot crates with heroes, even though it is the stupidest thing I have ever heard of.
Hey, I'm just trying to bring sexy back to Star Wars, Assassin.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Boom, have you had a chance to play Battlefront 2 at all? Or take a
No,
look at it?
I mean, I was neck deep into Red Dead Redemption 2. I got halfway through chapter 4, and I heard it's supposed to get better. So I want to say I'm halfway through, maybe a little, maybe about 60% done. And I stopped it to play Assassin's Creed, and I just can't stop playing that game. I have 52 of the 53 achievements, and I've been trying for the last 5 days to have this one achievement unlock. And I'm not sure if it's a glitch or not. So I really want to get back to Battlefront. I enjoyed it, even with its flaws. I thought the game looked absolutely gorgeous. The sounds are just so prominent. If you're a Star Wars fan, you really appreciate the blasters and you know, when you hear the gun ricochet off something, it just brings joy to anyone that's a Star Wars fan. So I definitely want to get back to it. It's just that there's just so many games, dude.
Yeah, I hear you, Boom. I haven't had a chance to play Battlefront 2 either, but I've seen Assassin dig some time into it, and he's really digging the update from what I hear. He just wishes that everybody plays the objective.
Oh my god, don't get me started with the people. You can see an objective. For instance, the ATTE is running, or not running, because it's very slow. It's slowly coming to you. What do people do?
Kill each other.
They just walk. They walk right past it. And then they're like, then we lose, and it's like, huh.
They're more concerned with kills than actually the objective. That's that's a little frustrating.
Yeah, and it's just like, I just don't get it. Like, and then you get some people who will run to the objective, but then like, because the first one you have to hold X to like call on reinforcements to start the ATTE, and they just look at it. They're like, you know, it's like a dog. They just turn their head to the left, and then to the right, and then they just walk away. I'm like, great, thanks.
No, yeah. Unfortunately, you know, people just jump into play, and I don't think they realize that they're actually picking something that requires teamwork and some sort of a thought process behind it.
You
know, speaking of frustration and players getting angry, it's a perfect interject to our next topic that I really want to bring up because we've all had a chance to play this game. And Boom even went out and got the collector's edition. I'd like to go ahead and bring up Fallout 76.
Yes.
So the first topic I wanted to bring up first was the subtopic about the collector's edition with the bag. And I know, Boom, that you've experienced that firsthand. So I want to get your take on that.
Well, I mean, let me just say this. I did an unboxing video on my my YouTube channel. I'm a big Fallout fan. I've had every collector's edition since 3 on the 360. The Lunchbox, the Pip-Boy. I have the Nuke replica from from the Fat Man. It was a PC exclusive that came with all the games up until I believe 3. Even like every PC version I had, and then of course when I saw the Power Armor edition, I had to get it because, like I said, I'm literally looking me in the face right now. It's displayed on my shelf. It is a quality piece of decor, if you will, because that's really what it comes down to. It's not just a memorabilia from your favorite game. It's literally a piece of furniture. It's that big. I love it. I think for me anyway, it was well worth the $200. And I said this on Crossfire. I'm not sure if you remember. I wasn't buying Fallout 76, the collector's edition, for the game. I was buying it for the helmet, and the game was kind of like a bonus. Whereas some people were buying the game for the game and got the collector's edition for the helmet. I didn't expect much out of Fallout 76. What I tell you, what I didn't expect is it to be as bad as it is. And this is coming from someone that put 300 plus hours into Fallout 3. 400 hours easily into New Vegas. I put about maybe 100-ish, if you will, into Fallout 4. I kind of it all looks the same. And I was expecting this to be something better. I was expecting to be, I understand it's open world, but you can play it single player, which is the way I probably would have played it. And it's just, my God, it just looks so bad. And I know that people are enjoying it. And I'm all for people having fun with the game. If you enjoy it, that is awesome. But for me personally, I was so pulled out of the universe with how horrible it looked and how terrible it ran that I don't know if I'm ever going back.
Wow. That's some strong words. What do you think about the bag? Is it, because to me it looks plastic, the bag you get the power armor in, or helmet?
You're talking about the green army bag that comes with it. Yes,
it looks plastic to me. I saw that picture that's going around where they talked to Bethesda and they're like, it was too expensive to make, and then they show the picture. To me, that looks like you get a bag out of like a grocery store.
Well, you know what? Honestly, it's not that big. I mean, I'm pulling it out of the helmet right now. I have it right here. Hold on just a second. Sorry if you hear some rumbling, but that is the bag. I mean, it's not the greatest quality, to be completely fair. It's, you know what it's like? Okay. The material is cheap. Let me just say that. The helmet, on the other hand, is not. The helmet is extremely quality plastic. It has some heft. It has, when you pick up the helmet, it's got weight to it. Obviously, if it was a real power armor helmet, you probably couldn't lift it. It's probably 30 or 40 pounds just for the helmet. But this particular replica has a nice weight to it. The bag, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Just imagine, okay, the best way to describe the material in this is, you ever seen those cheap, and I mean cheap, raincoats? You know what I'm saying? That kind of fold up into, like, you can put into your pocket.
Like a poncho?
Kind of like a poncho type material. It has nylon handles and straps that go alongside of the bag, but the material itself, I mean, it's that woven material, but it still does not feel quality. Again, I don't know what their pricing was to make this thing, but you would kind of want like a duffel bag, gym bag material to house this thing. I don't know how many. I mean, first of all, most people are going to display the helmet, which is what I'm doing. I don't know who's going to keep it in the bag, so I don't know why it's that big of a deal. But the bag is not the prize of this package. It's definitely the helmet. So yeah, they kind of skimped out on the bag, to be completely fair.
I think the only reason people are upset because they had that image of the Power Armor edition, and then they had this bag. It looked a lot better than
I will. Yes, I agree.
Before I give my take on that, one thing I want to say, and I forgot to say at the beginning because I was a little nervous about hosting tonight, to be honest, because I messed up our overlay. So when we went to Hangouts, but I want to say that big shout out to the Tick Games Network, because we are a Tick affiliate podcast, and I love a lot of those guys over there. Everybody's great, and it's just great to be part of that affiliate network. They're awesome people. Go check it out, tickgamesnetwork.com, and I'll be on their Tick Games podcast as well, coming up on Saturday nights. And just get back to the topic real quick. I want to say that when I was looking at the picture of the bag, I was like looking at the image that they posted, and I was like, wow, that kind of looks cool. And then when I actually saw the bag that people got and all the complaints and how I'm sure people on Twitter made it look worse than it probably was, the way that they showed it. I was like, man, that's a little sad. I wish it was the other bag. And then Bethesda came out, or somebody said that the image was a promotional image. It was never supposed to be the official image, and it was like a mistake. And, the way I feel about that is, okay, so somebody in marketing definitely screwed up somewhere along the way. But now Bethesda's kind of like on the hook because certain countries in the US have those false advertisement laws.
Yes.
And the question is, will it get enough pressure to cause a false advertisement investigation into Bethesda? And will Bethesda have to go ahead and make good on the initial bags of people who purchased it? Because right now, Bethesda's trying to correct the mistake by giving out $5 in what people are calling fake money credits to make up for the the bag. And that's kind of like telling anybody in the future, if they investigate, that Bethesda openly admits that there was a mistake. So it kind of puts a little bit of pressure, with social media in the echo chamber. And then will it get to the people that investigate these things, and what would their take be on it? And since boom, you purchased the $200 edition, does it really matter to you if you get the bag in the promo or if you get the $5 credit?
Honestly, look, here's the thing. I said in my video review that I did, the biggest disappointment for me personally was I thought that the map was cloth. I'm looking at the image right now. The bag is definitely different. It's a different shade. It actually looks to be like a different quality. This quality, again, it's just a bag. It's a woven material, so it's not going to tear easy. You can't just like rip the bag apart. I don't think that's the case at all. But I was mostly disappointed as looking at the picture. The map looked like it was like it was going to be made of like some sort of a cloth, and it's a roll-up map, which I don't like. I mean, again, it's something I'd want to frame. I'd rather frame, hang a cloth map like the God of War Collector's Edition came with a magnificent cloth map, that's what I thought they were going with, and it turned out to be paper. So I was disappointed in that. The bag, I'm going to be honest with you, it's funny you should even mention that, because now that I think about it, I didn't even show the bag off in the video. I forgot that it was tucked into the helmet.
Oh, wow. I mean, Assassin, do you have any takes on this? Do you think it really warrants the echo chamber of social media pressure, complaints on the $5 credit, or an investigation in any means whatsoever?
Well, I mean, they advertised a certain bag, right? They said, buy this bag. You bought. I mean, obviously you gave more than just the bag, but you're buying this. You're giving them $200 plus tax, and then they give you some like lower quality thing. Like, I understand not everything is going to be 100%, but like the difference, at least from the pictures I've seen, is like night and day. And then they come out like, oh yeah, it was too expensive. This is a company who, like, everyone just like throws their money out. Everyone loves Todd Howard. Everyone loves the games he makes. Everyone, like, or just like look at Skyrim. It's like on everything. Like, and there's a reason, because everyone loves it and everyone will buy it. So I think if it was money, I think they could shovel out. If it was not $100 more, but it was like $10 more, I think they could have, ate that cost. But they probably knew the game was going to be in such a shitty position. The $5 atoms or atomic credits or whatever they're called, I feel like it's a big middle finger to everyone. You can't really buy anything with that. I mean, you can buy I think emotes, some what is it, like emblems. I think you can buy some plants. I think there's a carpet square you could buy, and then I think there's a really ugly Pit Boy skin, and I think you can buy the cowboy hat. Like, you can't really buy anything with those things. Everything good is over 1,000 credits or whatever you want to call them.
They should have given people the minimum $10.
Yeah,
maybe even a little bit more. But listen, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm probably never returning to the game. Maybe if they fix it, and I don't know what else they can do. There's a problem just outside of of what we're talking about with the bag. There's a multitude of issues with Fallout 76 that range from poor running servers, poor quality graphics, a collector's edition that's something was like, it was the old switcheroo with bags. My issue with the map looking like it's a cloth map and it was a paper map. Poor sales, old engine. I mean, you see what I'm saying, guys? If you take all of this and you throw it into a pot, that's going to be one nasty bowl of soup. And unfortunately, this is one of those instances. We kept talking about in the prior topic about how the stink is still there for EA with Battlefront. And even though people are enjoying the new DLC, there's still a stink with that game that they'll never shake. The company is I think financially affected by it as well. This is an umbrella that I don't think Todd Howard, as great as he is, and he's one of my favorite devs, him and the team of Bethesda are ever going to get out from under.
Yeah, when I was looking at this whole, the whole picture of this Fallout 76 fiasco, there's a couple things I was thinking, and then there's a flip side to it. Like, I was thinking to myself, well, I played the beta, so I should have expected this. And then the flip side of that is, well, the beta is to give you an idea what the game's like, but everything's supposed to be patched after the beta,
right?
And there's a lot of people complaining now about, and you guys brought this up, in a way, about the atoms in the game. Like, a lot of people are saying that they don't like the fact that they have to grind to earn these atoms, or the fact that they actually charge for these atoms. And I understand that point. And as a big Fallout fan and a Fallout player, I've actually been playing this game, probably put maybe 60 plus hours in it by now.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can't believe it, right? Because the game is definitely buggy, and I can't recommend it to people, but I got sucked into it. And just in those amount of hours, and I'm almost level 50, I've earned probably maybe 3,600 atoms, like atomic credits. So there's a lot of stuff that I was able to buy, and I don't see where all these complaints are coming from. But Assassin has a different point of view on that. And Assassin, can you elaborate your take on this?
Well, I mean, the earn rate for those things aren't that great. I mean, yeah, you put what? How many hours? You said 60?
Probably about 60. It feels like.
Yeah, so you put in a bunch of hours, and how many credits have you earned?
Probably about 3,600.
See, and then that's nice enough, and it's all challenge based, but sooner or later you're gonna run out of challenges, and then you're let's just say a year from now, a huge update comes out, bunch of new stuff, and then all this cool stuff's come out for that's in the store, and then you ran out of challenges, and you're like, I need credits. Oh, here, $20. Oh, I can only buy one thing. Here, another $20. Oh, I can buy two things now, but I just, I almost spent I've just pretty much bought the game over again. So the earn rate needs to be better.
Well, see, and I don't know if this is a glitch or not, right? Or if some of them are supposed to reset on a daily basis, but there's I think it's 10 or 20 credits that you get for the first time that you level up or something. So every time I start up my game, because it is buggy, I start at like level 1, and then I instantly level to like 47 or 48 where I'm at, and I always re-earn those credits. So I can never figure out if it's like a daily credit or if it's a glitch. But somehow, somewhere along the way, I'm getting credits for stuff I've already done in the past, and it just, as I play throughout the day, I re-earn them again.
It's probably a bug.
Well, I gotta say, I'm enjoying that one.
It's a very nice bug. That's probably the only really good bug. But then you get bugs where we want to turn on this huge excavator thing, and it says I need 5 nuclear waste, but in fact I need 20. And when I craft, I don't get the resource.
Yeah, so, Boom, I want to explain this to you because I know that you haven't really dove into the game. So some of the bugs in this game are like freezing. The game randomly freezes on you. Server randomly disconnects, and you lose access to your controls, and the game just shuts off eventually. Bethesda says if you're over encumbered, you can't respawn properly, so they always respawn you at Vault 76, but cost you caps to transfer if you want to go to another location. But even if you're not over encumbered, I've had that glitch nonstop. And there's glitches like inventory glitches where if you have carry weight cards to help your carry weight, like plus 40, for example, I have, sometimes if I get a duplicate of that card and it goes back into my stack, all of a sudden my carry weight drops way back down to like the original carry weight, and I have to restart my game to restock that card.
Oh God! Listen, you know what, dude? All I can say is this. You know, from what I've heard, from what I've played, because I played it for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, right? I got up to level 5, I think, and I'm like, yep, that's it, I'm done. This game should have never come out. It should have released into preview. And if it was a buggy mess in preview, at least we can say it was in preview. The fact that this is a retail game that anyone with $60 could run to a Toys R Us, oh, not Toys R Us anymore, they're out of business, Target, a Walmart, a GameStop, or wherever you shop, and buy this game, bring it home, and it to run in this condition is absolutely unacceptable.
You know,
I mean,
that's probably why people are calling it Fallout 76% off.
Because actually, it probably is right at about $20 now.
you know, and then I wanted to get into this too, because like this is, I mean, Fallout's a huge series for Bethesda, right? So I had done a Twitter poll, and I was really surprised that when a lot of people on Twitter responded to my poll, they look at Wolfenstein as a more solid Bethesda game, or they look at Doom as a more solid Bethesda game. So do you think this Fallout 76 backlash is going to hurt Bethesda, or do you think people just give up on the Fallout series and go to one of their other games?
No. One reason, because it's Bethesda. If this was EA or Activision, wholly different story. But because it's Bethesda, all hail our Lord Todd Howard. It's just gonna get like it's getting a bunch of shit now, but in a year or whatever, or when you see the next Skyrim or whatever Todd Howard's making next, and we see gameplay or whatever, everyone's gonna start, go on their knees and be like, "We're not worthy." But we all know if it was EA, pitchforks, everything, people would get their numbers and call them and all this other nonsense. But like I said, it's Bethesda. They can't do wrong.
Well, I have to agree with him. They are one of the companies that really can't do any wrong. I mean, obviously, this game's a mess, right? The launch was a mess. The day one 54.1 gig patch on top of your 50-something gigs already brought it to 100. Now, and with all these updates, it's probably up there at 115, 117, 100 gigs, which is ridiculous.
I think with those updates, they pretty much just made you reinstall it. It's not like they added another 50 gigs and be like, surprise, it's bigger than Red Dead.
Yeah.
It's like PUBG, where they make you pretty much reinstall the whole game, but they add fixes. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, look, I'm going to say this. Todd Howard, whether you love him or you like him, he's probably the most transparent of the devs he's constantly talking with fans. He goes out there. He loves doing this. You can tell. You can tell certain heads of companies or certain developers of, that are basically the mouthpiece for that company. He's one of the guys that when he speaks, the passion comes right through wherever you're watching. I happen to really, really dig Todd Howard. I'm not digging Fallout 76 in regards to the franchise being hurt. Well, here's the thing. At this point, the way they should treat this Fallout 76 franchise as if a nuke went off and just stay away for 10 years. That's what I would do, because this game, yes, they're not going to abandon it. They're going to keep giving updates. They're going to keep fixing it. They're going to keep tweaking it. And who knows? A year from now, this may be an entirely different game that everyone is playing. And I think that's their hope. But the reality is that it is a toxic mess right now. And they just really need, I'm going to say this. Todd Howard himself said, and I've read this on numerous websites. I've even talked about it on a few of my shows, that the engines for the next Elder Scrolls, which is Elder Scrolls 6, and the space game, was it Star something? They're making like a Fallout thing in space.
Yeah.
Those are supposed to use the Fallout 76 engine. I'm going to tell you this right now. If either of those games look anything like Fallout 76, the company's in big trouble. I don't care if we don't get another game from Bethesda, from their company, Bethesda. You know, I'm not talking about, like the Wolfensteins and the Dooms. We know that's ID that's doing those. But from them, they just need to do something with this engine, scrap it all together, and just start from scratch and make a new engine, because this engine is not cutting the mustard.
I think I was watching a YouTube video before this came out. At the end of it, it was a Fallout 76 video, of course. I don't know how big the petition is, but there is a petition of Bethesda to create a whole new engine for the next games, because literally just like what you said, Boom, because they're going to be using it. So people made one. So if I can find it, I'll post it on Twitter and stuff. But
I think I did see something about that, Assassin. I saw that people were saying it was the same engine that created Skyrim. And if you're in this generation now with Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, why are you going to use such an old engine? Why, if you're a big company and you got the money, why not just dedicate yourself to a new engine to create better graphics and better gameplay, more stability? And I get that. On the flip side, I think Bethesda wanted to play it safe and keep that nostalgic feel, in a sense. Maybe some people would call that lazy or not. I don't know. But I think that maybe Bethesda just didn't want to grow up with this generation as far as Fallout. And I'm worried about the Elder Scrolls now. The next Elder Scrolls. It makes me think, wow, I hope they got a new engine for that.
Well, I don't know if you went back to Fallout 4, but like Fallout 76 has kind of got me more into Fallout 4. And the difference between those games, Fallout 4 still looks better than Fallout 76.
It does. It absolutely does look better. Yes, it does.
So, I mean, if they use the same engine, like, I guess if it's a single player game, I guess I would be fine with it, as much as, probably people don't want to hear that. I mean, it still looks good. Not the best quality, but I mean, if we get a good game at the end of the day, like another Skyrim or whatever, like that quality of a game, like I really don't care. I mean, we've played, like, Call of Duties have been using the same engine for many years, and a bunch of people still play the game. I think it was the best selling in October or something.
Yes, absolutely.
So I mean, I don't see the hate. I see it in Fallout 76. They should have done like a totally different engine for that, because it is a multiplayer RPG type game. So there's many different elements, building, everything. And that's probably why our stash is like, you build a wall and then it's like, oh, you ran out of building budget. Congratulations. So.
I want to shout out Fastback 247 in the chat, and he says something very interesting. According to him, he says, I also think many are misunderstanding what Fallout 76 is about, and the art style of a Fallout game are not going to be like God of War graphics. Plus, it's an online open world server. Now, I agree with him to some extent. I understand that it's a Fallout game and it's going to have a certain look, and that is understandable. I've played every Fallout. I've loved all of them up until this one. All right. I never played 1 and 2, but I played 3, New Vegas, and 4, and put 700 plus hours in between those 3 games. If I didn't like the game or the franchise, I would have spent 7 minutes, let alone 700 hours. And so I know what I'm getting myself into. What I don't expect is that as we get better in technology, as the system's power start to increase, as the system's age starts to grow in a particular generation, companies learn these tricks that they didn't know in year 1 that they know in year 5, right? They know how to manipulate the graphics engine, and know how to push it to the limit without breaking it. This, and I'm going to say this again, this is just my personal opinion. This to me was a lazy development move on Bethesda's part to have this game come out in the condition it's in. I'll put it to this way: if it ran like Fallout 4 and we didn't have all these problems, I would even be I would be one of those people saying, yeah, it's kind of Bethesda. We know what we're getting with them. But I'm in the camp now where I am not willing to accept this because my money is my money and I'm spending it on your product. So if you're not going to put a full effort into making a quality title, why should I take my hard-earned money and spending it on your company? We have to want more as gamers. And I think that letting Bethesda go because, it's a Fallout engine or it's just Bethesda is an old excuse that's run tired. I think we should expect and demand more, even though, like I said, I've said it before, four times on this show already, that how much I really dig Todd Howard. But I also have to say that they need to do something better for their fan base. Coming out with a game that looked like Fallout 4, that looks a little worse than Fallout 4 that came out 3 years ago is absolutely unacceptable in any form of business. I don't know. What do you think, Clowns?
I mean, you both make really great points, Boom, and I think you both hit on the head that if Fallout 4 is better, then we would have expected improvements in Fallout 76 and not go backwards. So, it's an excellent point. I can't argue with that. Even as a fan of Fallout, I have to agree because you always want to move forward with technology, not backwards.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. I bought listen, I'm a fan. I spent $200. I'm not sorry I did. All I'm saying is that the stuff I did get in the collector's edition, I really enjoy. Obviously, the helmet is fantastic. It has light, it makes sound. The bag of figures it came with, like these, remember the old school army men? That's really quality. They're very detailed. The map, very disappointed. The bag, I could care less. Like I said, I even forgot about the bag in my unboxing. I just remembered that live on the air. So it was, to me, it's a never was. But in the game, I'm gonna be completely honest, man. I had sold the actual disc copy to a friend at my old job because I won on Twitter a digital copy of Fallout 76. So I still made a couple of bucks back. So it wasn't as bad. But at the same time, I mean, I walked away a little disappointed to be fair.
And real quick before we move to the next topic, I just want to address Fastback in the chat. He says, but Fallout 4 is a single player, so easier to optimize in his opinion. And maybe that's true. Maybe some of the stability issues or the fact that the servers can't handle everything.
Yeah, he had to pause for a second, folks. His dogs are going bonkers. But you know what? Fastback, you make good points. It being a single player on Fallout 4, obviously the optimization is a heck of a lot easier than opening the door for how many people per server? Assassin, is it up to 12, including you?
I really don't know. Part of the time when I'm playing the game, I kind of forget it's a multiplayer game because the map is big and everyone's kind of just doing their thing. It's not like someone's coming up and like, oh, hi, they shoot you in the
head. I mean, look, at the end of the day, there are a lot of people, including famous YouTubers like Mooch, for instance. He's really enjoying it. He's playing with his friends, and they're going out and collecting junk and making power armor, and they're having a blast with it. If you're having a good time with it, that is awesome. I will never say, "Oh, why are you having a good time and I didn't?" I'm a bit of a graphics whore. I like my games to run crispy smooth. Shout out to Zorker87, that's his term. It doesn't do that for me. So I'm okay with just walking away. I have my memories of Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4. They were quite enjoyable. Fallout 76, not so much. But you know what? At the end of the day, I got a power armor helmet out of the deal, so I win.
I mean, and for the sake of time, I got to move on to the next topic. I definitely agree with everyone's points here and in the chat. It's flip side to everything. But you know what the flip side is? Nintendo's flipping the script now, guys. Nintendo is scrapping the creators program to allow everyone to stream and monetize, quote unquote, as long as it's not pirated games. So no ROMs, people. No ROMs. Can't monetize those. They could definitely tell. Oh, no. So what do you guys think about this? About Nintendo making this move right around when Smash Brothers is supposed to drop?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I've only been doing YouTube for a year, and when I started the late 2017, I had did a Nintendo video where it was my E3 predictions video for them. And I didn't get a copyright strike, but what I did is I got a warning from YouTube. And it happened one more time where it wasn't a strike, but it was a warning that, hey, listen, no need to get excited, but Nintendo put a claim on this. I just want you to know I never did anything with Nintendo again. I think that you're telling me this now, it gets me excited because I love Nintendo. Everyone knows that. I have a Switch. I have 30 plus games for it. I have multiple colors of the controllers. I'm like a big Nintendo kid. I mean, it's just who I am. But I was as a creator have always been on the fence of doing anything with Nintendo because they punish you. And to hear that they're going to kind of lift the veil a little bit is definitely, I don't know, maybe because they've had leadership change and they realize that people are going to want. I mean, I think that it's ridiculous they would even do that because you're giving them free advertisement, right? Like if you're talking about Nintendo, you run a Nintendo centric channel like Nintendo Direct, for instance. That's his bag. That's his favorite. I mean, he's an Xbox guy, but he loves Nintendo. He could now show 10 15 minutes of Smash being played in the background as he's doing a video without having the worry that you're going to get a strike from YouTube because Nintendo's panties are in a bunch. So I think this is good for gaming.
Agreed. It's welcome to the 21st century, Nintendo. Please don't change the rules because now, I feel like more people would be interested. Because I don't have a Switch. I really want a Switch. But now, like, certain games, like, I can, like, watch them and not, and probably YouTubers will be more, it's not all about money, but maybe some YouTubers then can actually, that I enjoy it, can actually do some of these games and I can, watch them if I'm not going to buy them or, whatever. So, but
yeah, I think it's a great move on Nintendo's part to do it. I think, I think there's a couple things going on here. I think Smash Brothers is one of the reasons because they know that's a real hype game as far as people playing with each other online, fighting each other, doing sleepovers, house parties, LAN parties. And I think they're hoping to rebuild the fan base of the Smash franchise. On the other side of this, I think, in a way, I kind of, and maybe it's just my opinion. I don't know how other people feel about this, but I feel like the hype for the Switch is kind of like dying down because we've already seen the great first party titles, and it feels like it's kind of like slowing up as far as first party titles, except for Smash coming out. And maybe Nintendo's trying to reignite this excitement of their brand by saying, hey, everyone, now you can stream our stuff, even though it's been like a year and a half, 2 years. But yeah, now, get that great stuff out there. Show the excitement. Show the fun of Mario Kart. Do you guys think it could be any of those issues too?
Well, I'm sure that they have, people within their ranks that were, part of the media generation, the younger ones compared to us. I mean, we're a little, always the oldest guy in the room, no doubt about that. But there's a younger generation that Nintendo probably gets information from, and I don't think it's too far-fetched to think that someone is telling them, hey, listen, knuckleheads, you're giving up free advertisement for your shit. Stop copyright striking everybody and let them, again, we bought the games, right? We paid good money. We bought the game. We're streaming the game because think about what from a fan's point of view, right? You're a Nintendo fan. You have your Switch. You absolutely love it. You take it everywhere. You buy every game that comes out, right? That's a fan. You have, like me, you have multiple Joy-Cons in all the colors. Like, why do I have 6 colored Joy-Cons? I don't know, but I have them, right? I have 2 different types of, the traditional controller. I have the standard black. I want to get the Smash one. So I'm continually putting money into the Nintendo meat wagon. And I want to stream. or I want to do a video talking about how excited I am to play Smash Brothers Ultimate, and I'm going to have Smash Brothers playing in the background. Could you imagine that fan getting a strike? Like that's like opening the door, like walking into the Nintendo building and the head guy running at you full speed to kick you out right in your face. And I think someone probably got into their right ear and said, "Hey guys, listen, like Assassin just said, welcome to the 21st century. People stream, right? People are always trying to, suck up as much content as they can get. And if they're a Nintendo fan, they want to see someone talking about it with the game playing in the background. So I like I said, at the end of the day, this is a big win for the YouTube community, especially the Nintendo fans that this is their bread and butter. Now they can actually go out and do these videos and talk about the company that they love, and not worry about getting a strike.
I saw something today that really blew my mind, and it was on the Adult Swim channel. They were playing something called Karaoke Doki, and I never heard of this show, never seen it before. And I was thinking to myself, man, it's such a great idea that so many streamers probably love something like this. Well, what they do is they do karaoke live. 3 of them were on, and they were like, one was dressed in a banana suit, one was dressed in like, I think, a raccoon suit, and the other person was, I think, dressed as like Princess Peach. And they were playing Mario Kart 8 all together and singing songs that people called in or sent emails in. And I'm like, wow, this gets me hyped for Mario Kart again, seeing how much fun they're having, just goofing off. You know what I mean? Like in costumes and stuff. Imagine like if we could do that on Four Guys with Quarters, or do that on another podcast. We just mess around, play some Mario games, and just have fun.
Or have like what Stick does, where he has, these clubs where you post your times, or we could do something like that, or just have 4 guys. I didn't know she did it, where they had a community night where we could just all kick each other's butt in Super Smash Bros. And then I win because I'm cool. I'm just kidding. But or if Mario Party had online functionality, how cool would it be to stream Mario Party and just have everyone join? Like
that would be that. You see, what you're talking about is the fantastic definition of community, right? Everyone coming together for a common goal. And what's that common goal, Assassin? Fun, hanging out, laughing, joking, and being able to stream that without repercussions of Nintendo's big hand that's always waiting to smash you down. Like I said, this is a fantastic. I didn't even know about this, clowns. This is been like a learning experience. Heck, just being an episode I'm on your show.
Yep, and from the article, it makes it sound like they're gonna do it next year, that they're gonna drop all this. But when I read the fine print on Nintendo's website, it almost sounds like immediate. Like they're not going to take action on any videos currently. So that's what they make it seem like, and I hope that's what they're going to do, because I think this is going to open up the gates for a lot more people to experience Nintendo. Like my daughter's generation, right? She's 16, so she likes Xbox, she likes PS4. She's out of the the 3DS phase that she was in. Right. She no longer plays it, and a lot of people don't see. A lot of people her age don't see like that Nintendo stuff. They don't want to pick it up. They don't want to play because they think it's like kid-like. But if they saw their favorite streamers get on stream and just goof off with Mario Kart, goof off with Breath of the Wild, goof off with Mario Tennis, I think they would like it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Again, it's the main word here is free. It's free advertising for your product. Like, I don't understand why it's taken this long for a company as big as Nintendo to finally figure it out.
Well, it probably comes down to greed, because let's just say you make a YouTube video of Breath of the Wild. You do a whole playthrough. Someone, like 1 million people watch it, or 1 billion people, whatever. Those are potential customers that, may not buy it. And that's potential money that's not going into their pocket. I mean, this is a company who puts out games like in their their virtual console, and you have to rebuy them. Like they just want money. And
yeah. I thought we were eventually going to get. You know how much money I spent on Virtual Console? Oh my god, it's criminal.
no, so hopefully they get rid of the greed a little bit, and even if they still have it, that of people streaming it and whatever, like that's like everyone said, it's a really good thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. If this is effective immediately, and I find that print in there, then I'm gonna go ahead and start streaming like some Mario Kart, because that game's a lot of fun. I had
It
fun
is.
doing that. Even on the Wii U, I played that and I streamed it, and I got like 40 viewers of Mario fans that just love that game, and it's gonna bring so many people together, man.
It
Um,
is. I agree.
but before we get out of here, one other topic I want to bring up is the games with gold. And, the games with gold right now,
Terrible.
coming up for December, are Cube 2, Never Alone, Dragon Age 2, which is 360 backwards compatible, and Mercenaries Playground of Destruction, which was an original OG Xbox game. So I want to get your guys' take on this. Like, how do you feel? Because we're all gamers here. We all have gold. We all look forward to, free stuff with our membership. So how does this make you feel?
Look. The thing is this: these games are terrible. Now, Never Alone is an indie masterpiece. I played it. I beat the whole game. I beat the DLC. It is an amazing, absolutely stunning game to play. What what I enjoyed even more? There's a behind the scenes documentary that that you can watch after you beat the game, about that you learn so much about the Eskimo people. My God, it should be award winning. It was so well done. I enjoyed it just as much as the game. The game told a fantastic story. The little girl and her fox, and how she has to basically save. I'm not sure if it's the world, because I haven't been in a while and played it, but I highly recommend playing this game. Cube 2 could give an absolute flying S about. Don't that's a cheap one. Dragon Age 2, you could probably pick it up for $3 in a bargain bin somewhere. Certainly not the strongest of the Dragon Age franchise. And Mercs, listen, that's not the OG Xbox I want for free, man. I mean, there's just so many titles you could have put in there. You could have added a Splinter Cell. You could have given us Ninja Gaiden Black. Because I know like Ninja Gaiden Black, for instance, is in Game Pass. It just hasn't been given for free. Knights of the Old Republic would have been a good free one in Games with Gold. We didn't get that. I like that they're throwing them in there. I just think Marks is. I mean, it was a good game back in the days, but it probably looks horrendous now. So this was a poor month for Games with Gold. Probably the worst in 2018.
Is the original Xbox game, is that already backwards compatible, or is it becoming?
I think it's just becoming backwards compatible, because I don't recall that being on the list.
Okay. Well, I mean, at least that the list is expanding, as much as it is a shit month, but we need more OG Xbox back games.
Yes, I agree.
I bought, I think, a few that I'm hoping. I have, I think it was Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, just sitting on my shelf, just waiting. I don't care when, just needs to come. But the backtrack or whatever. Yeah, the month is terrible. It's been terrible for a while. And it's sad.
I gotta agree with you guys. I look, I know there's people out there that love the Cube game series, but I don't think that's a game for everybody. And I feel kind of insulted that they threw that in the games with the gold. Like, thinking to myself, you have so many options available, and Cube 2 was discussed and put in there. Like, come on, guys, at Xbox. What are you guys thinking? Never Alone, I think that's a fantastic indie title, a fantastic indie studio. They did a great job with it, but I just don't know if it would catch on with the mass casual player. Like, do you think that everyone out there, like, I know my daughter, for instance, probably would never touch it. She'd look at it and be like, oh, what is this? Deleting this. And then we got Dragon Age 2. I gotta agree with you, Boom. That game can be found so cheap in so many places online, in bargain bins, at probably Salvation Army, Goodwill, all those places. Like, that could have became a game with gold when they first made it backwards compatible when everybody was looking for it. But now, I don't think so, man. I just don't think it's the right time for that one. And Mercenaries, I think, that had a good following when the OG Xbox was out. But people today are going to be looking at the game and be like, what the heck is this game? What is this?
Game should have been one of those days. They do it once in a very long time, but where they give out, instead of 4 games, 5 games. That should be like one of those 5 games. Not saying the game sucks or it deserves to be placed in that special spot, but like it just seems like one of those, because it's an OG Xbox game. It just seems like one of those, Merry or Happy Holidays. Here's an extra game, or we just celebrated 1 billion titles of Games with Gold download. Here's an extra game. Like they've done that in the past. I think they should have done that with December.
Well, let me give you guys an example. Okay, bringing up Sony. September, PlayStation Plus got Destiny 2 and God of War 3 remastered. Right. For last month, they got Yakuza and what was the remake of the original, and Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition. Both fantastic games. This month, they're getting Soma and Onrush. I mean, look, those are all big time titles. It may not be your bag, but every one of those titles would be considered high AA, low AAA. The games on this particular month of Games with Gold, you wouldn't even get them in they wouldn't even register a C with me. Again, I understand that there's a fine line Microsoft has to work and walk when it comes to Games with Gold paid, Game Pass. So I mean, they have to do better. They have to do better, because people are going to be, people like myself who have channels are always going to be comparing. Well, wait a second. Sony's giving away this. Yes, they don't have Game Pass, but they're still giving away quality games as opposed to what Microsoft is giving out in this Games with Gold. Listen, at this point, the games have been so terrible that maybe you just get rid of the service altogether and kind of merge games with Gold with Game Pass, or do something like that, because the games are getting worse, I think.
And this and to me, this kind of cuts into the argument too. Like, a lot of people are saying that once we got Game Pass and more studios when the Game Pass, we get less great games and Games with Gold. And maybe that is true on Microsoft's part, but then you look at Sony, right? And you look at the PS Now, they got their own streaming service, and they actually have a higher install base because there's in more homes than the Xbox is, so that makes sense.
Right.
And yet Sony is still giving better games this month than Xbox. So I just wish I could go down to somebody at Xbox who decides these things and have it sit down with them and be like, listen, guys, you're doing this wrong. Look at your competitor. They got their own streaming service too. It's not as good as yours, but they're getting better games. So let's fix this a little bit. At least put one great game in Games with Gold, and then you Game Pass everything else. But, there's a lot of people that really look forward to the Games with Gold program, and I just feel like December's a letdown, man.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, when Microsoft probably contacts the company, they're like, hey, let's just say Soma, for instance. They probably contact them. They're like, we want your game. I don't know how this process really works, but they probably emailed them, be like, Games with Gold or whatever. And then they see, Game Pass, and like, no, Game Pass, because they probably get more money.
Yeah, it's definitely something with the financials. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, so I mean, Game Pass, I think, doesn't affect it all too much, but I think it also affects it, because companies want money, and that's probably comes down to it.
Well, again, it's a bad way to end the year. Let's hopefully they start January with a bang with 4 good games.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Magnetic Storm was saying that he feels he should have added Crimson Sky.
Listen, let me tell you something. I bought the game, even though I had it in storage. I didn't want to go look for it, so I bought it again, and that game looks and runs fantastic on the X.
Yep. And yeah, that was a really popular title back in the day too, and it's holding up well, and people love that title still to this day. They think about it, but I haven't heard anybody talk about Mercenaries, and here we get Mercenaries when Crimson Sky went backwards compatible a while ago, and it
Yeah.
could have been in here.
That would actually that might have saved the day because Crimson Skies is still a fantastic title. I'm hoping that we get a reboot or a sequel to that sometime down the future because I know Phil Spencer really likes that game and he knows that the fan base is rabid about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Xbox is trying to do right things by the fans, but I think they just need to.
They need to move the person that's picking these games out and put someone else in. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I gotta agree. At least the fan in, because at least the fan would be like, guys, this is the game that get everybody wild up. These are the games that everybody likes. Let's put some of these in there. So I don't know. Maybe one day, Boom. Maybe one day you could walk into that conference room and you're like, "Hi, I'm MrBoomStickXL, and this is what I gotta say."
I don't think they'd let me through the front door and past the lobby, but one day possibly.
Well, without further ado, we've been on over an hour, so I just want to go ahead and start the outros. And I'd like to thank Boom for coming on the show. He's been a fantastic guest. Boom, tell everybody where you could be found.
Well, first of all, I appreciate the invite. It's always great hanging out with you guys. Getting to hang out with the community multiple times a week has really been the bright spot for starting my channel. I've met so many people that it's just been fantastic. Yeah, listen, if you want to reach out to me on Twitter, it's at MrBoomStickXL. My DM is open to everybody. I respond to every question, every request, and of course my YouTube channel, Double Barrel Gaming. If you want live content, there's been a big shift in my channel. I don't do videos anymore. I do lots of live content. A lot of special edition shows are going to be coming on. Hopefully we're going to end the year strong. UK Dazarus and I are working on something that we're teaming up to do something in January, which I'm excited about. Towards the end of the year, I'm having my Christmas show where the anyone that shows up has the potential to win a big prize, something that Mrs. Boomstick initiated, and also if you're familiar, I'm having a special edition show of the channel with I was fortunate enough to be able to get the entire panel of the Iron Lords podcast on my show. It's going to be happening Saturday at 3 p.m. on December 15th. It's basically an Iron Lords MrBoomStickXL team up. It's going to be on my channel. It's going to be absolute fire. I hope everyone shows up for that. And that's about it. Thanks again for the invite, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to the ILP guys. Awesome dudes. Love those guys. A few of them been on the show as well. Shout out to King, Cognito, everybody else at ILP. And I'm looking forward to that show, Boom. I'm going to be watching that.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, those guys are just... They're literally some of my favorite people on YouTube. Every one of the guys are just really fantastic people.
Absolutely. I'll be looking forward to that, Boom. And Assassin, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitch every morning, most of the time. Streaming almost every day over there. Thanks for everyone who stops by. And then Xbox Live and occasionally PlayStation, ZPCI Assassin. PlayStation has an underscore, Xbox has a space. And that's it.
Yeah, I want to say that Assassin's been working really hard on Twitch. He became a Twitch affiliate. So
nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can check him out, ZPCI_Assassin on Twitch. And like you said, almost every day he is streaming. He's working that. So I hope you guys stop by sometime if you get some time. If he archives his videos, check him out. And, this week I'll be doing the Tick podcast Saturday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern with all the Tick guys. I'm on their panel now.
Nice.
Great group of guys. Love everybody over there. And we are proud of Four Guys with Quarters to be a Tick affiliate. And you can always find us every Thursday. Check our links in our videos at the bottom. But every Thursday at either 5 or 5:30 p.m. Eastern, we're live on air on YouTube. And good night, everyone. Have fun gaming.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.